Is the assessment of the United States government that the Islamic Republic of Iran is responsible for the attacks that occurred in the Gulf of Oman today.
With all the censorship big tech is engaged in, it's critical that you sign up for our free newsletter at Infowars.com/newsletter. You will get breaking news, videos, great deals at InfoWarsStore.com, and all the latest articles with key intel and analysis. Get around the electronic Berlin Wall by signing up for our newsletter at Infowars.com/newsletter.
Now, I'm no fan of Iran, but just because they removed a mine off the side doesn't mean they were just deactivating it and trying to save the ship. Everyone else is saying, look, they're putting a mine that they had already put on there. They're taking it off, I guess, to cover up evidence that it was their mine. Iran said 3 months ago, and again 2 months ago, and again a month ago, that if you put sanctions on the Revolutionary Guard, that is the government, that's the corporation of the militants that took over in 1979. That's the mullah's money. And they collect money from Shiite mosques all over the world. And they're very, very rich. So I could see them getting pissed off and doing this to threaten the West to back off the sanctions. It's really just a sad day when our governments have been caught staging events or lying about events so much. From the Gulf of Tonkin to get us into Vietnam, to the Maine to get us into the Spanish-American War, to you name it. Israel pulled a false flag. They've had their own pilots go public against the USS Liberty with LBJ's blessing. So that was really a U.S. government false flag, but using Israel as the intermediary to do it. The dumbass white supremacists always say that I'm covering up for Israel by saying LBJ was involved. I'm reporting history. Just because LBJ's involved doesn't mean Israel's okay in that case, that government. Israeli pilots said 3 times over the radio, it's an American ship. They got a big red, white, and blue flag. We're not going to fire. They ordered, you fire on that ship. They followed their orders. The point is, it was blamed on Egypt. And this has been done over and over and over again. So yes, it could be staged. There are criminals in our government. There are criminals in the Israeli government. There are criminals in the Iranian government. There are bad people in every system. There are good people as well. JFK said no to a giant false flag where they were going to shoot up people at schools and movie theaters and blame the Russians and start World War III, Operation Northwoods. The Iranians basically admit they did it because they said months ago, and this was on Press TV and I showed you the articles, they said, we'll sink ships in the Strait of Hormuz, we'll sink your ships if you do these sanctions, and we did the sanctions.
They can get right up underneath of a ship and put mines on it. In this case, it looks like they also put mines above the waterline because their goal is to have a breach that they can ignite. That's harder to put out. Underwater, it would just be flowing as a pollution into the Gulf. So yeah, this is a state level actor. And Occam's razor says Iran because they can insert from a mini sub straight across from Iran. They don't need to bring a ballistic missile submarine into the Persian Gulf.
So, if somebody tells you they're going to shoot your dog if it comes back in their yard and you come home, your dog's dead in the neighbor's yard, or, you pretty much can say that the neighbor killed the dog. Now, maybe you're wrong, but nobody is going to fault you for thinking the guy that said a week before he's going to kill your dog and now your dog's dead. Maybe somebody else shot the dog. Maybe I'm wrong. But here's the problem. I said that Iran basically admits they did it because they said they'd do it, and that's true. But that's counterbalanced by something I remembered last night driving home. And sure enough, we pulled it up, and Seymour Hersh, highly respected, double Pulitzer Prize winner, been on this show. He saw classified documents that Dick Cheney proposed to the Navy to dress up Navy SEALs, to have a dummy Iranian patrol boat, and to attack a U.S. or Allied flag ship so we'd have a pretext to attack. Oh, you're like, oh, but I don't believe Cy Hersh. Okay, turns out the neocon think tank said the exact same thing specifically.
Cognitive dissonance is a major issue amongst the left. It can be very stressful dealing with facts you refuse to accept. If you have a family member suffering from this degenerative mental condition, buy them a bottle of Ultimate Fish Oil from InfoWarsStore.com. Studies have suggested that fish oils and fish oil supplementation can slightly lower blood pressure, decrease triglyceride levels, decrease the growth rate of plaque, and provide a soothing reduction in inflammatory responses in joints and the digestive system. Recent studies have suggested that high EPA and DHA fish oil can stimulate immune function by increasing the concentration and activity of immune cells. Perhaps that family member or friend's mind is shorting out with leftist fantasies due to a lack of the supplementation found in Ultimate Fish Oil. It worked for my family, and now I can have a logical and calm discussion about actual facts that pertain to reality. Get your Ultimate Fish Oil for a friend, family,